Hi, thanks for streaming another meditation hour. So, today I will be meditating for an hour using Vipassana technique, where I'll be focusing on my breath and body sensations. And I might also do a bit of chanting. So, depending on how I feel like, I'm gonna do both of them. Earlier today, I went to this potluck organized by Climate Change Reality Group in Atlanta, and I must say that uh, when you when you're a part of some community which actually is trying to solve the ongoing crises and help people, you will meet with so many amazing different people who are already doing so much amazing work. Uh, and that is very motivational, inspirational. When you go to any events where there are people who are making difference, that inspire to give your best and uh, to make the things better. And I must say, climate crisis related organizations are really oriented on the wellness of the planet altogether. And so was the Climate Reality chapter in Atlanta. The various people I met there have amazing point of view on different crises we are experiencing in the world today. And definitely one of the leading crisis is climate change, and we gotta wait and see how we gonna make better technology to tackle climate change altogether. But I'm hopeful. I'm pretty optimistic that we will create different innovative technologies to tackle climate change as we're gonna innovate various aspects of the society, like democracy using technology, like efficiency using technology, like making our mind body more healthier, or keeping it healthier and making it well using technology. So technology gonna be the 21st century tool which will improve a lot of different sections of our lives. Um, I just want to say that I normally don't give a fuck about a lot of different things, but the things which I deeply care about, I try to do my best. And climate crisis is one of that which I deeply care about. And I join different groups to kind of see different point of views on what gonna be the crucial what are the crucial things, what are the from political side, what are the crucial factors which will help us to tackle climate change, what are good innovative technological solution, and what are the solutions already in available in current world, such as solar panels, or some sort of rainwater harvesting, which you can do at your own house, and other things. So just by joining community, you can actually listen to so many different people who are using the existing tools, so to speak, and make a difference in the world altogether. So that's why I think like community is very important. The other community I'm part of is, based on the other things I do, like for stand-up comics community. or stand-up comedian community, or the Aikido community, or the and what else I do? I mean, I do archery, so community related to that. But in general, whatever you do, you create a community or you become a part of that community, and that helps to become better within that one section. So if you want to become a better writer, then go ahead and join a community of writers, and that will help you become better version of yourself. And I feel that this will be one of the crucial things in near future, because once technology gonna engulf all the jobs or most of the jobs, then people will have more time and they don't have to work. That will happen eventually, hopefully, but eventually. Imagine if everything is automated, then most of the jobs are off market and people will have plenty of time. And during those times, the big factor which will shape the lives would be community. So the type of community you are part of and how deeply connected you are going to make a big difference. And to be honest, I'm not the best person to kind of speak on this, because I have my own flaws, because of which I fall short on keeping up with people. But that being said, I do believe that when you're actively participating in whatever you care for, so if you actively participate to go to gym just to build your body up, then that's a community you're gonna form eventually. And likewise, anything you do or everything you do, you're gonna create your own community. So it would be really nice to kind of do the things you want to do and be part of the community for those things, and learn from each other, and also improve by taking a feedback of your existing level and see how you can become better at that skill set. So community play a huge part if you want to improve the things within your life. And not just this, I've seen people who are part of community, even if they want to destroy the world or destroy their own lives in a way. So plenty of terrorist organizations and plenty of extremist organizations have their own community as well, even though their intentions are completely opposite to mine, and their intention is to create destruction in the world instead of creating innovation in the world. So even they are part of a community, so that kind of goes out to say how important being part of any community is. And I also at the time tried to make sure that I'm not being tribal about any of the communities I'm part of, because all of these communities are kind of in a way collection of people who has combination of different ideas and thoughts and experiences. So just because I'm part of a community doesn't mean that I have to be tribal for that community and have to kind of just so what I'm getting at is you can be part of a community and at the same time you are a bit distant from the community as well. And in the communities, like any religion community, so to speak, or any religion which act itself as a bigger collection of communities, right? And those tend to become so tribal that people actually have real hard time distancing themselves from those communities. So if you run into any extremist religion nut job, then you would notice that it's very difficult for them to distance themselves from that religious community, because it becomes a part of them, or it fuels their passion or fuels their purpose of life. So you would notice that as well. And the difference between people who are deeply relied or dependent on a community, or just deeply subscribed to one community, versus the people who are subscribed to various communities but at the same time are a bit distant in a way that does not label your identity based on a specific community. So the bigger point is you are a collection of different labels, and all of those labels gonna make you part of different communities. So if you label yourself as a professional worker, then you'll be a part of a community which happens to be your company. And if you label yourself as activist, then you will be part of community which voice their opinion for that specific activity. Or if you label yourself as an athlete, then you're part of a community which is focused for that specific sport. So we all are part of so many different communities. We all are a collection of these labels. And if you link yourself only with fewer labels or fewer communities, then that becomes your identity. So when I describe myself, depending on the context, I have different labels, I have different identity. So when I'm interacting with people, let's just say in a more professional manner, then my label is based on all of my professional behavior, so to speak. And likewise, when I'm interacting with people in a casual manner, then my label becomes more of a casual. So of course, I am authentic in all of the situations, but at the same time, I am tuning in a part of my authenticity. So instead of like being and all of this doesn't mean that okay, I guess I'm digressing from the point I was making, but what I mean is, like, all of these whenever you are in different situations, you adapt, you behave, you speak in a specific way, you act in a specific way, and all of that is pertaining to the situation. And that's why a lot of people say that if you want to change yourself, change your situation, and you will see yourself change. Or if you want to become better at anything, surround yourself with the people who would make themselves, who are on a journey to make themselves better as well. So you're gonna become better by surrounding with people like such. So environment plays a big chunk of your existing behaviors, and depending on the environment you choose to spend most of the time, your behaviors will be mimicking those environments. So is identity, so are these labels, and so are these communities. So choose your community wisely, and make sure that whichever community you choose, you're still interacting with people who are coming from their own different biases and experience, but we are there for a common goal. So So it's very important to achieve a common goal. Everyone who are working towards it work cooperatively. And a lot of this is a self-advice. I would say, like, when I talk about these points, I bet like most of you guys know this. I mean, this is not a new information by any means. There are a lot of people out there who have said this much better than I ever said. And a lot of people are smart enough and have understood these talking points, so to speak, and sometimes I have to remind myself. So this recording acts exactly like that. Whenever I feel like I'm not I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do, or what I shouldn't be doing, or which is not good for my current situation or the future situation, then I listen back to some of these things, because in a way it feels like I'm talking to myself. And in a lot of ways, meditation is exactly like that. And when you're meditating, you're essentially thinking about so many different things, even if you don't want to think about anything. Trust me, that's super difficult. So when you're just sitting down for an hour and just observing all the thoughts which pass by, you're having a conversation with yourself. You're first of all dissociating yourself from that thought, because the thought is not you. The action you take is you, or becomes you, or shows a part of you. But the thoughts are not necessarily you. But if you see a pattern of thoughts, that means that your thoughts are shaping the way you think and look at the world. So if you're thinking about, let's just say, if you're thinking about taking a vacation, and you're thinking about it for past, I don't know, month, every single week, or at least once a week, that just to say that you really want to take a vacation. That's why that thought is reoccurring, right? But if there is any thought which you want to let go, then meditation is the best way to do, because it teaches you how you can let go of thoughts. So if you are thinking about some event which happened in your life, and which is stressing you or traumatizing you, then no matter how much times those thoughts come up, you have to let go. Because letting go of thoughts gives your brain a message that I'm not going to be triggered by the previous trauma or stress. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to try to focus on what currently I'm experiencing. And this is one of the biggest advantage of meditation, because we all goes through a different level of trauma. Of course, my pain is not equivalent to yours, and so does anyone. No two persons' pain is equivalent. You can't compare it. You call it pain, or you call it suffering, or you label it in any different part of emotions. We can experience similar situation, and we can understand or even feel similar emotions within that situation. But the level of or the intensity of that emotion is entirely different. Depending on my prior experiences, I might feel more, let's just say, more sad about a specific thing, whereas you would be able to let go, because it doesn't, that temporary sadness doesn't mean a lot to you because of your prior experiences. And coming back to the meditation, which teaches you to letting go whenever that thought pattern shows up. So you have the power to kind of let go of thought which you don't want to bring within your life, and you have power to remind yourself of the thoughts which are adding richness to your life, or the richful experiences to your life. So yeah, so just practice meditation. And if you're just starting up meditation, I know it's very difficult initially. Like anything which you do is difficult initially, and you have to keep doing it. It becomes easier as you keep doing it. This is not any sort of secret. It's out there. Every single successful person you talk to have a simple mantra: keep doing it. If you want to get better at anything, you have to keep doing it. You have to keep repeating it. Our brain is a pattern recognizing machine, and our brain loves patterns. So when you feed them the patterns which you want to engrave within your life, those patterns becomes your habits, your passion, your mastery, your skill set. And when you break the patterns which are not helping your life, that will create this powerful message, so to speak, that you can break any pattern which is not serving in your life. So you can break the pattern of inactivity or inaction, or the negative thoughts and the negative actions you're triggered to do, you're compelled in some sense to do. So all of those patterns could be broken just by being mindful, just by meditating every single day. And then you'll be able to take the charge of your own life, which a lot of people thinks that they do have, that they are in charge of their lives. And that's where the whole free will concept comes into picture, right? Because people think that they have free will to choose whatever they want to do, whereas that free will is itself confined within a specific limitations or boundaries. So if you go to any supermarket, you may have free will to choose 5 different brand of chips, but you're still confined within those 5 different brands. So your free will is confined based on your experiences. So you might think that when you choose to go for a hike instead of sitting on your couch, that is confined because you have this new passion to, or even not new, but you have this passion to be outdoor, to do something instead of sitting indoor. And it goes other way around too. So if you choose to just sit down instead of going out to some event or to hike, then you're choosing that because you have prior experience of that, and you're in a way confined based on your prior experience. So free will is kind of an illusion, but the illusion part is that you have freedom to choose. And just yesterday I was talking about this as well, that democracy is also sort of an illusion, because it gives an illusion that you have power to choose who will represent you. in a lot of shape and form, it's true, because you have the power to vote, and then have some representative in the, whatever your parliament or Congress or whatever. And but the illusion is that you have that the representative you chose or you voted for, and if they win, you chose, will vote for the policies they promised during the campaign, or the policies which you feel are right or correct for the direction the society should head. And that illusion is in some sense addictive, I bet. That's why a lot of people like to or love to talk about politics, including me. And a lot of people are just a part of this political conversation in different forms, like by protesting or by lobbying or any different ways, because this illusion of what's happening, or who's in control, it's hard to to kind of break that illusion, because it's impossible to have a sort of anarchy where everyone is the ruler and everyone is the everyone are equal, so to speak, when it comes to power, of implementing something to society. So that's very, 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 very difficult, if not impossible, to attain. That probably never going to work out either. What would work out in a way is distributing of power. So everyone in a society should be empowered, and everyone in the society has to be accountable. That accountable couldn't be forced and shouldn't be forced. That accountability, if anything, should be forced from within, instead of the external forces of government or kings or oligarchs or anyone for that matter. So that power from within has to be fueled, or let me rephrase. I think that the internal power comes from concentration, focus, meditation. When you focus on any task, you would experience at different times that those tasks make you powerful or empowered, or make you feel empowered from within. And those empowering moments kind of make life fulfilling, I guess. Who knows? I mean, life is such a mystery. Everyone is trying to figure it out. And I tried to do the same thing here. I just try to figure out my thoughts. Sometimes, or plenty of times, I'm still kind of like putting my head together to kind of like think about what I actually meaning to say with the best possible choice of words, which at times falls flat. I mispronounce. I just kind of completely use different word at times, and it's a learning process, and becoming comfortable to sit in front of camera and talk like breaking the fourth wall of some sort, and even though and then showing you a part of me which in a way is most vulnerable, because if you think about it, when I meditate, I'm just sitting here with my eyes closed, and a lot of streams of thoughts are going on through my head, and depending on that, a lot of involuntary muscles on my face, showcase some different expressions, and I'm actually sharing a very deep, intimidating moment with with the world, with all of you guys, and that sometimes make me feel vulnerable for sure, because some random guilty thought or some random pleasureful thought goes through my head, and then I feel kind of like conflicted. I become cautious because I don't I don't want my facial expressions to give my disgust or give my pleasure or whatever I'm feeling in the moment away, and I become self-conscious. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you do meditation by yourself, if no one is watching you, you can just be relaxed. You can just you don't care how your expressions look like, depending on the thoughts you're going, or how you might come across, because there is no one else. But putting this broadcast on internet is like inviting everyone to kind of like show a side of you. It's pretty vulnerable for sure, and I actually, in a way, I'm also grateful, because that I feel like that makes me a better person as well, because if I'm having a thought for which I have to be a bit self-conscious, or I become self-conscious, then there might be something, or I have to let go of that thought. I don't have to continue with that thought. So that's actually a learning curve, I guess. So if I'm on a train of thought where I'm feeling, let's just say, pleasureful, and then I realize that, and I become subconscious, and then I can let go of that thought and get back to my meditation practice. So in a way, this is super helpful. This vulnerability is helpful, and I can hopefully that hopefully over time I become better at just focusing on my breath and body sensations, and come back from these different thoughts, come back into the reality and see what is real. Even at this moment when you're watching this, just ask yourself, what is real? Is the feeling you're feeling at this moment, is that real? Or are the thoughts you're thinking about randomly, are those real? What is truly real within your life? Because all of these are driven by different variables. Depending on what you ate or what you're eating, your body would react in a different way. If you're eating really crappy food, processed food, then your body will crave for those food, and your body will react in a very addictive way, in a way. And if you're filling yourself with let's just say spicy food, then your body will react in a different way. And likewise, Same goes for your thoughts as well, because you are what you feed. And depending on how your body and your thoughts are reacting at the moment, you have a very unique experience of that moment. And you can argue that that's the truth in that moment, or maybe it is just influence based on the different factors like food, and based on whatever your mind is thinking at the time. But the one thing which is truly real is your breath, because you can't change, or in a way, like if you just sit down and observe your body breathing, it's breathe involuntarily. It doesn't require your conscious effort to breathe. So that is one of the core, one of the basic reality which you're currently experiencing. And I think breathing is one of the most important aspect of life, which is not a surprise, because if you don't breathe, you're gonna die. But what I mean is how you can control your breath can change your mindset, can change your body chemistry, can change a lot of things going on in your life. And that's why exercises like yoga have specific breathing technique with every move, so that give different breathing durations, like when you're inhaling versus exhaling. And you can also feel the effects of different breathing exercises. So if you do holotrophic breath work, you're going to have a different feeling versus if you do some sort of other breath work, which I don't know a lot. And trust me, I do want to learn more about different type of breath works, and want to use those breath works in different situations. Because I firmly believe that depending on how you can control your breath, you can change your current situation altogether. Because if you think about it, if you are in any stressful situation, just picture the most stressful situation you've ever been into, and how was your breath. If you can cautiously remember that, then you would remember it's something like shallow breath, because you're anxious, your brain is in a way shocked, your body is in a way shocked, or you're trying to figure out how to get out of that stressful situation. And once you start taking deep breaths, then your body automatically relaxes, your brain kind of calms down, and then it's easier for you to figure out how you can get out of that situation. And that's exactly what long-term meditators and people who practice various breath work can show you in real life, that any situation could be handled by different breath works. So if you need to I'm not good at knowing different breathing exercises, but that's one of the things. Like I said, that's one of the things I want to get better at, and then use those breathing exercises in different situations. But what I was actually thinking about was, if you look at the various events in the history, you would notice that a lot of people who were courageous in the presence of death, like if you're part of a army which is outnumbered, and then you have to fight the enemy, or whoever is attacking, with that small amount of people or soldiers around you to fight with, that's a really stressful situation, and you need a lot of courage and you need a lot of presence of mind, and all of that comes in only if you are not stressed, or if you're not shocked, or if you're not able to control your mind and body. And all of that comes with different breathing exercises. So I am actually hoping that I could find good mentors to kind of learn different breathing exercises, and even online, like virtually or in person, and then create a schedule to do different breathing exercises, hopefully different exercise every single day, and I can then see what it feels like for that specific day. So that way I can see how different breathworks can help me, and I know for sure that correlation does not necessarily mean causation, but at the same time, just by going through different breathworks, I can at least feel the difference within my body and see which breathwork works better for me, and or in what condition, and then use those breathworks whenever I'm in those conditions. With that being said, let's get started on Vipassana meditation for the next hour. And while I'm meditating, you're gonna, of course, watch me meditate with my eyes closed. But I'm also gonna play some background music in the background, so that you guys can listen to some soothing music, and I hope that you meditate with me, playing the same music, and like watching me meditate or whatever. But the point is, I hope that you like the different musics available around or available on YouTube to meditate to. So I encourage you to try meditating using different musics, or just with white noise, to kind of get a better experience of meditation. Okay, let's get started. Hey Google, set an alarm for an hour from now.
You got it. Your alarm's set for 7:43 p.m.
Hey Google, stop. Awesome. Thanks for sticking around. And until next time, stay peaceful.